a carnival is going on here. So we need to discuss what is arguably one of the most popular controversial topics when it comes to the cruise line, the passengers, and their policies. A woman has been banned from the fun ship from Carnival Cruise Line for bringing a substance on board to help her sleep better that is normally linked to an illegal substance. Yes, we're talking about the Mary Jane, and well, for that reason, she brought it on board, or tried to rather, and she has been banned to the shuttle realm, never to sail with Carnival Cruise Line again. She doesn't think it's fair, she has lawyers involved, and well, it's become a giant mess. So I'm gonna show you guys a news clip regarding the matter, that way we all are on the same page, and then I'll show you some of the missed details after.
Cruise line bans a woman for life after an incident at the port in Miami.
Yeah, she tried to take CBD gummies on board and learned a tough lesson about cruising rules. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay spoke with her today, and he's joining us live right now. So, Chris, she has a warning for anyone sailing the high seas.
That's right. When you're packing for a trip, it's usually easy to remember not to pack anything illegal. In this case, this woman thought she had done just that. She still ended up in some trouble.
I don't deserve something like that to be recorded on my name.
Erin Van Veldhuizen was headed on a cruise with her family. When terminal workers looked inside her bag, they found CBD gummies. She says they had no THC at all, and she brought them to help her sleep.
I'm thinking at this point she's just going to destroy it or something. I'm just going to watch her destroy it. I haven't really thought anything of it too much.
Instead,
then a captain finally came down, and the man said, based on the weight of your gummies, you won't be able to board.
They also banned her from taking any Carnival cruises moving forward. Cruise expert Stuart Sharon says the incident highlights why it's important to always check the cruise line's website before you pack.
The point is they do have certain items that are not allowed on board the ships, and people need to adhere to those rules.
Just because a substance is legal at point A, that doesn't mean you can legally bring it to point B. Erin's lawyer doesn't think the gummies were prohibited.
The conditions of carriage specifically say that marijuana derivatives, or controlled substances are illegal and or are not allowed on the ship. What she had was none of those things.
So this 42-year-old woman in question here says she was treated like a criminal. She spent $5,000 on a cruise, which I believe she was sailing on board the Carnival Mardi Gras, celebrating her wedding anniversary with her husband and her family. Upon arrival over to the port, they searched her bag and come to find out she had CBD gummies that she was planning to bring on board to help her sleep better. When the gummies were discovered, she claims that she was interrogated for about 2.5 hours over in the back room. She thought they were just going to dispose of the gummies because she's saying that she did not know that the gummies were not allowed because they contain no THC. However, they ended up not letting her and her family board on board the cruise ship, and she was then banned for life from Carnival Cruise Line. She's also saying that she has sailed with Carnival Cruise Line as her vacation option over a dozen times. However, it's not clear whether she's trying to kind of hint at the idea that maybe she has been able to get the CBD gummies on board in her sailings prior to this incident that's taken place. I think more so she's trying to just say she's had experience with Carnival Cruise Lines, never had an issue, and more so that she maybe has a little bit of status with Carnival Cruise Line. As far as her record, as far as getting in trouble, she's saying she hasn't even had as much as a parking ticket in history's past. The conundrum here is that, of course, the gummies contain no THC. THC is the substance inside of Mary Jane that gets you high, gets you feeling nice, feeling good. That is not allowed on board Carnival cruise ships. That's the argument that the woman is making, as well as getting the lawyer involved. They're saying that when it comes to their fine print and their policy, when people are booking cruises, it mentions the Mary Jane and THC. Personally, I get if you kind of glance at the fine print and the policies and rules, that is what you're going to come to. You're going to see something about some Mary Jane and just like the general smoking rules. However, if you dive a little deeper, you will see that they clearly state that when it comes to their line in international waters, they are not allowed to bring CBD oil. And that passengers, of course, you can't bring any of that stuff on board for reasons of the fact that that's just their rules that they have set in place. To be clear, CBD is legal throughout most of the United States, the CBD without the THC. But you can also make an argument for the Mary Jane with THC. In a lot of places now in the United States, it is 100% legal. So now, when you see a lot of people that are cruising on cruise ships, the big argument that's often being talked about is whether it should be allowed because it's already basically legal in the United States. Why not on a cruise ship? To be honest with you, there are just so many legalities to dive into that is honestly above my pay grade for me personally. There are state laws, there's federal laws, there's rules for international water, there's rules and laws for other countries that you're going to be visiting on the cruise ship. You're not just going from a place in the United States to the United States. So you can see how that's also going to cause a potential problem. It is interesting to me, however, why this continues to be a conversation that's being brought up. All I have to say to this is that rules are rules. To give somewhat of a similar and relatable example to this conundrum that we're dealing with here, involving people asking how come they can have their Mary Jane over in the United States on land, they can't bring it on the cruise ship, we have all heard of the almighty TSA when it comes to the airports in the United States. Nobody likes it. You gotta take out your laptop and you gotta take off your shoes, knowing damn well you are not a potential risk to the United States, you're not a risk to the airline, you're not a risk to the airplane, but however, when you go overseas to a place like Europe, for example, TSA doesn't exist. You don't got to take off your shoes. You ain't got to do none of that crap, and it is just a better experience. Because of how things are over in Europe, could I then come back and say to TSA, well, you know what? I don't have to do it in Europe. I shouldn't have to do it here. It's my money and I need it now. I don't know where that came from. Sorry, I got a little excited. My point is that wouldn't fly with TSA. That wouldn't fly at your job. That wouldn't fly when it comes to cruising. It just is what it is. The world is not fair, and unfortunately, we just have to accept that, or don't use and work with said company that you have a disagreement with. Moral of the story here, when you're traveling, especially when you're talking about internationally to destinations you've never been to, it would behoove you to maybe read the fine print. We've all seen situations where people go to places like Russia. Well, this is before all the craziness started over there. And when you go to places like Dubai, there are a lot of rules and customs and regulations that you have to abide by. You saying I didn't know, like this willful ignorance, is not an excuse for you to go ahead and do whatever it is that you want. As far as this woman getting a lawyer, I know for all of the Mary Jane heads out there, you're probably going to be cheering her on and trying to be on her side and saying that she has an argument here. Carnival has it on their site specifically when it comes to the Mary Jane and the CBD. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm not against Mary Jane. It is what it is. Go have your fun. Personally, for me, I've done it a decent amount of times. It's not really my thing. It makes me want to go to sleep. Doesn't matter if it's sativa, indica. I don't really like the stuff. But if you guys want it and you want to have it on your vacation, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to choose another option. Either that or, and let's be clear, I'm not telling you to do this, but I know people do anyway. You can go ahead and take the chance and try to, I guess, sneak it on board. However, you are free to do what you want. You are not free from consequences. Meaning, if you try to sneak it on board and you get caught, well, you're going to have to potentially face banning, arrest, and it's not going to be a good day for you. Anyway, that's what I got for this video. I do apologize for being MIA over the past couple days. Many of you know I've been traveling. I took my first cruise out of California, a very inexpensive, I know you guys don't like the word cheap. I took a very inexpensive cruise out of California, and boy, did it deliver. I have a review coming up tomorrow, so make sure you guys stay tuned. But as far as this matter here that we talked about in this video, make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you later. Take it easy.